Another win. The New York Giants continue to surprise. What's going on, everyone? Nick Falato of Big Blue View here to break down some more defensive tape. And I really wanted to start with the sequence of plays that happens in the third quarter after the New York Giants surrender 4 consecutive plays that result in Green Bay Packers first downs. This is when the Giants are still down by a touchdown. And I think this was the true turning point of this New York Giants victory over the Green Bay Packers. Let's get into it. This is a critical point of the game for the Giants. The Packers' first second half possession after converting 4 first downs on 5 plays with Nick McCloud getting picked on and taking an illegal contact penalty. The score is 20-13, Green Bay, and the Giants now have momentum. And this play right here that we're about to go over is directly after the Randall Cobb catch that was overturned along the sideline. Let's pay attention to this too high defense initially. This is about 2 seconds before the snap, and we're going to watch the Giants rotate Xavier McKinney downwards towards the line of scrimmage, which is important because the Packers had a propensity to run the football whenever the Giants were in too high type of defenses. So McKinney is going to rotate down to the weak side. You got weak side rotation as the Green Bay Packers go to hand the football off. And the run defense here by the New York Giants is excellent as they stop Aaron Jones for a 2-yard gain. And we'll watch Xavier McKinney fill the backside A-gap on this view. The Giants come out in tight. Justin Ellis, Dexter Lawrence, Nick Williams, O'Shane Ximines to the strength, Tamon Fox to the backside, and watch McKinney just flow right down. And then you have one linebacker. The Giants were doing really unique things with their linebackers. They were having goal line defenses where it was just defensive backs. Love to see Wink Martindale at work. Xavier McKinney shoots that backside A-gap to help with this tackle. Look, there's a cutback lane here if Xavier McKinney was at depth, but dropping him right here allows Tay Crowder to flow to the play side a little bit, and now Xavier McKinney can just shoot this backside A-gap. Aaron Jones cannot cut in this direction with Xavier McKinney there with no body presence on him, so he's just forced to try to find running room here. And this Green Bay blocker has no blocking attempt on Xavier McKinney. Look at the angle that he was forced to take here. There's no way he can locate him, so Xavier McKinney is just a free rusher to occupy this A-gap. And let's watch this run defense. Dexter Lawrence stacking the center. You got Nick Williams, very low leverage, both hands inside as you can see, anchoring down. And then O'Shane Ximines not getting bullied off the spot by this tight end. This is sound run defense to the play side right here. And you also have this lineman climbing to Tay Crowder, but it doesn't even matter. There's nowhere for Aaron Jones to go right here. This is excellent run defense at a critical time of the game to force 2nd down and 8. Again, love how Xavier McKinney shoots that gap. You also have Nick McCloud from the cornerback position coming down behind him because the A-gap is so damn wide. But just excellent run defense right here from the New York Giants to set up this 2nd and 8. The NFL is transitioning to more middle-of-the-field open type of concepts, but not Don Wink Martindale. The Giants predominantly run cover 3 and cover 1 type of concepts, albeit in this game they only ran cover 3, I believe, about 18% of the time, which was a season low. But middle-of-the-field close means you have a single high safety. You want to pass to the outside, one-on-one matchups. And one way that teams try to take advantage of these single high safeties is play like this, a deep Yankee type of concept, with a deep over route and then that deep post route. And what the teams are attempting to do is they're attempting to get this middle of the field closed safety who is alone to bite down on the over route, which will isolate this cornerback against the deep post route. And that's important because this cornerback is in outside leverage. And we've seen the Giants face this concept because they run so much middle of the field closed, cover 1 and cover 3 often, like we did right here against the Dallas Cowboys after the 3rd and 12 conversion by Ezekiel Elliott on the run. And CeeDee Lamb just ends up dropping this pass. But you can see right here, now this seems like there's a miscommunication with Adoree Jackson. He falls for this outward stem. This is a really good outward stem right here by CeeDee Lamb before he comes back inside, and that still creates a one-on-one isolation, and you have to have a Dane Belton do this speed turn. This could have went for a touchdown if CeeDee Lamb just didn't inexplicably drop it. But let's go back to the Green Bay Packers play. And you can see it's a similar type of concept, albeit instead of that deep curl to hold Fabian Moreau, it's the deep cross, true type of Yankee concept. It's built off the play action with the end-around fake right here. And Aaron Rodgers heaves this, and the Giants cover it well. It's just man coverage right here. So the deep defender from this side stays with Romeo Doubs, and then the safety plays it really well. Aaron Rodgers lucky he overthrew this just a little bit because Xavier McKinney had a really good beat on it, and he was not fooled. But the Packers try taking a shot on this drive after matriculating the football down the field, and they just miss, which sets up 3rd and 8. And here's the end zone version of it. You can just see Aaron Rodgers sets up. He's eyeing that deep post, well covered, overthrown, set up the 3rd and 8. And we're going to go over the end zone copy of the 3rd and 8 first because it's a little bit more important. And I think the primary thing I want everybody to pay attention to is the right guard and the right tackle and how their eyes are occupied by Tony Jefferson, who is right here in the A gap, who does not come. He's going to drop into coverage. This is the play where Dexter Lawrence gets the sack to knock the Packers out of field goal range and force a punt. Huge play in the game. Let's roll it and break it down. You can see 74 right there. 74. Well, let's see the sexy Dexy dance. There we go. But you could see 74 right here. Watch how he steps down, because you have the presence of Tony Jefferson. And I'm not 100% certain why 71 opens up to Jihad Ward. Maybe they thought because the Giants bring so many nickel blitzes that they were going to blitz Xavier McKinney so they can have 3 to account for 3 here. And also because Jihad Ward is in a 2-eye shade and there's a more direct path right into the pocket in empty 5-man protection. So 76 would have to really just do a better job stepping with this play side foot to cut off that angle. And it's better to have 71 just assist him a little bit. But Tony Jefferson here, watch right at the snap. 70's eyes go right at Tony Jefferson, and that's going to prompt 74 to look at Dexter Lawrence, leaving Kayvon Thibodeaux as the unblocked defender. Now, the Giants do this a lot. They will show a blitz to one side, like Xavier McKinney, and they'll bring pressure over here. There's another defender who's off the screen, and then they'll drop the end man on the line of scrimmage underneath. Now, they usually do that to the strength. You can see the strength. A lot of the receivers are on this side. You'll see that on the next view. But here, right at the snap, number 70 has to pay attention to Tony Jefferson, who drops off. And that allows Dexter Lawrence to get a little bit of a jump right into this B gap, right? So 70 is going to be late to engage Dexter Lawrence. And now 74 is not 100% certain at this time if Tony Jefferson is coming and if 70 is going to be occupied by Tony Jefferson. So he has to respect Dexter Lawrence. So you have 2 guys respecting Dexter Lawrence because Dexter Lawrence is Dexter Lawrence and because Tony Jefferson was aligned in the A gap there. So now 70 is like, okay, Tony Jefferson is not coming. He can engage Dexter Lawrence. 74 is still going after Dexter Lawrence, and it takes him a split second to realize, okay, 70 has 97, which he kind of didn't, as we'll see. So then he has to transition to Kayvon Thibodeaux, who's already starting to turn and corner into the pocket for Aaron Rodgers. Now, you can see Aaron Rodgers feels the pressure here because, look, 74 is not in a good position. He kind of holds a little bit, and you can see how Kayvon Thibodeaux is already at the top of the arc, is already hip to hip, and 74 is scrambling right here. You never want to see your tackle in this type of position. So that forces Aaron Rodgers to step up in the pocket, and Dexter Lawrence just throws number 70 to the ground and gets the sack. But this is assisted by the presence of Tony Jefferson, by the absolute beast strength of Dexter Lawrence, and how 2 guys had to pay attention to him because of Jefferson, and also by Kayvon Thibodeaux getting up the arc quick enough to, look, Aaron Rodgers looks this way, and he looks and he sees Kayvon Thibodeaux coming in unblocked. That's what prompts him to stop looking downfield and then pay attention to the pocket and attempt to step up and evade. Aaron Rodgers has done this all season. He steps up, he evades, and then he tries to get out here and then keep his eyes downfield to find somebody and extend the play. Dexter Lawrence does not allow that to happen. We'll watch it one more time just because it's brilliant, and Dexter Lawrence is really shining, ladies and gentlemen. Just watch how he runs through 70, gets him on the ground, sack New York Giants. And we'll see it from this angle right here. You can see Tony Jefferson's just leaning in the A gap. You have 2 receivers to this side, 3 to this side, and it's an empty formation. So a 5-man protection where the Giants only end up sending 4. And they drop Tony Jefferson off. Everybody else drops into coverage, but there's really no chance right here. You could also see Tony Jefferson, who, as we recognized, helped take advantage of this protection package. What does he do? He sinks underneath the number 2, running a slant. Packers love to run these quick little hitters, these quick little slants. He just sinks right underneath that. And Aaron Rodgers, at this time, he's starting to panic and step up in the pocket, but his first read would be right here to number 18. But it didn't matter. Sack New York Giants, knock them out of field goal range, make them punt the football where the Giants would go on a subsequent drive and score a touchdown. That is a huge play right there by the New York Giants and one of the most underrated plays that resulted in the win for Big Blue. After the punt, the Giants proceeded to go on a 15-play, 91-yard drive that was capped off by a Gary Brightwell touchdown without Saquon Barkley, which is impressive in and of itself. Packers get the ball back, and they go 3 and out here. And the Giants are daring the Packers to throw the football. Look, middle of the field closed safety right here, 1st and 10. Take your shots, Aaron Rodgers, and we will roll the dice if you're the Giants defense. You can see right here they got 4 guys on the line of scrimmage, 2 big down linemen, and then you have 3 individuals in the box, 4 if you want to count Dane Belton, 2 safeties, nickel personnel. Let's watch the play and break it down. I like the play design by Matt LaFleur, but there's contact with Nick McCloud and Allen Lazard right here because the Packers are going to run a slot fade. And Aaron Rodgers likes his chances on the slot fade. And then they're going to run just an in route right here. It's going to cause some traffic against man coverage. And you can see that. And you can watch Romeo Doubs is open on this play because Nick McCloud is in off leverage. But Aaron Rodgers sees Allen Lazard and he decides to go after Fabian Moreau. Throws his football, but the timing of the play is messed up because Nick McCloud, who's trying to work over the top of the traffic and man coverage right here, ends up accidentally bumping Allen Lazard. We're lucky we didn't get flagged here just because the Giants have kind of been unlucky in terms of drawing flags, specifically on the offensive side of the football. Plays similar to that, but you can see the fade releases. Romeo Doubs coming right here. You have 2 defenders who are paying attention to Aaron Jones, but if Aaron Rodgers was patient here, there's a little bit of a window before Jalen Smith does a good job to close on that. Aaron Rodgers probably has the velo to whip the football into that area, but regardless, it doesn't matter because Aaron Rodgers decides to take this deep shot to Allen Lazard. You see the Giants have the middle of the field closed safety. You have 2 tight ends up here at the top of your screen. One blocks. Robert Tonyan is just absolutely covered and shut down by Julian Love. Aaron Rodgers decides to take the shot. It does not connect. And that sets up a 2nd and 10 look. Maybe the Giants will be in middle of the field open on 2nd and 10 since they saw a deep shot happen. Let's see from this angle. You see Aaron Rodgers his eyes go right to Allen Lazard. He sets up, tries to put the touch on the football. It's covered well by Moreau, also assisted by Nick McCloud in the contact. And the Giants are not in middle of the field open. They are in middle of the field closed. Once again, Packers have a stack to the bottom of the screen. You have Allen Lazard off line of scrimmage a little bit with a tight end here. 11 personnel, single back with Aaron Jones. Packers go right back to the well, try to do a play action pass. And Nick McCloud ends up doing just enough to harass Randall Cobb right here and knock this football away. So I like this play design as well because the Giants have struggled all season. They play a lot of man coverage, which is what they're in here. They're in cover 1. They struggled all season covering these crossing routes. So what the Packers do is they release the receiver on the line of scrimmage, the number 1. He kind of, hesitates a little bit and then explodes. And what that does, it creates a little bit of traffic for Nick McCloud. You can see right here, Nick McCloud does a very good job kind of getting around this mess and then gluing onto Randall Cobb. But Randall Cobb gets a free release because of the release of Romeo Doubs right here. And it's not like the Giants are in banjo coverage or any kind of switch coverage. Nick McCloud is sticking with Randall Cobb. So Nick McCloud has to avoid Doubs and then get right to the hip. And that's a good play. Now, it's a little risky for him to try and undercut it here, but I don't think he makes contact on the football. He does not, as you can see. But I love the technique, and this is something Jerome Henderson has been preaching since he was the New York Giants DB coach on the previous staff. You use this hand right here, and then you use the backside hand to control the hip. This rarely gets called. You don't want to be too aggressive with it, but you want to maintain positive control. Just in case you miss with this hand, you can still make the tackle, right? You can see right there, that's what would have happened because he did miss, but the throw is just a little bit out of the reach of Randall Cobb, and then Nick McCloud does a really good job using this hand at the point of contact to chop down on the inside arm right there of Randall Cobb to force that incompletion. We'll go over it one more time. It's just cover 1 right here, daring Aaron Rodgers to throw the ball deep. This time he chooses a cross off a well-designed play, but Nick McCloud comes up big in a big situation. We'll see it right here from this angle. Go into the play action element. What does that do? Xavier McKinney steps up. Tay Crowder steps up into the pocket. And now you have all this space right here to throw the football because those linebackers and Xavier McKinney pinch off the play action. The ball, you can see that's very catchable right there. It's a little bit high. It's a little bit outstretched, but it has to be because look at the hand of Nick McCloud right here. And it's in Randall Cobb's hand, but Nick McCloud is tugging on that far hip. He does just enough to force an incompletion to set up a 3rd and 10 play, a very important 3rd and 10 play. 3rd and 10 is hard to convert in the NFL. Let's watch the play and then break it down. Giants get some pressure. Aaron Rodgers takes the deep shot. He likes the one-on-one matchup, but Fabian Moreau does just enough to force this to be incomplete against Allen Lazard. And for the 3rd consecutive play against future Hall of Fame quarterback Aaron Rodgers. The Giants come out in the middle of the field close. There are not two safeties here. This is single high. You get a cover one play. Our guys against your guys. Mind you, the Giants are down to Dory Jackson at this point. The Giants have Nick McLeod out there. They don't have Cordell Flott. Aaron Robinson is on IR. You got Fabian Moreau still, because Justin Lane is not in the game yet at this point. But the Giants are decimated in the secondary, and they're still able to do this. And this time, the Giants are showing a little bit of pressure, as they should. You have Tay Crowder, who is going to flow around this side right before the snap, and you bring Xavier McKinney off. And who do you drop into coverage, baby? Nick Williams and Justin Ellis, the two most feared coverage defenders on the New York Giants, to be these underneath players. Obviously, this is just a way to occupy all of these players right here and have some sort of a presence in the middle hook. So you can see the offensive lineman. He's not blocking anybody. He's not blocking anybody. And if it wasn't for Aaron Jones being really heady to realize that Xavier McKinney was coming on the blitz, Xavier McKinney would have got home and it would have been a sack of Aaron Rodgers, because these interior offensive linemen are all occupied. They believe Nick Williams and Justin Ellis are coming on the blitz. Who wouldn't believe Nick Williams and Justin Ellis? It's not even a blitz. Who wouldn't believe that they are just coming to rush the passer? They both drop off, and that allows Xavier McKinney to come right around the edge, and great job by Aaron Jones right there. We'll see it a little bit better on the next view. But the football is aired out, one-on-one matchup. Trust your 6'5" wide receiver who is a biscuit away from being a tight end, but Moreau does just enough to get a piece of this and then also kind of kicks it. And we'll see it a little bit better here. But watch what the Giants do. So it also looks like, hey, we're going to have an opening right here because Tay Crowder comes around right before the snap. So if the Packers were running like a quick slant or any kind of underneath pattern, Aaron Rodgers may have thought, hey, I'm going to have that with Tay Crowder now vacating and blitzing. Wink Martindale loves the blitz. That's what he does. But instead, Wink Martindale drops two players off into the middle hook. But just like we were talking about before, they're coming, they're paying attention, and now you have two guys who aren't really doing too much. Yeah, you have 70 with presence assisting 71. But this allows Xavier McKinney to come around, and good job by Aaron Jones, man. Just taking out Xavier McKinney right there and just providing a great pocket for Aaron Rodgers. Throws this ball one-on-one. Allen Lazard tries to get it. And this is just a great play by Fabian Moreau to get his head around, right? He has contact right there. He's trying to search for the football, but I don't think he really sees it at this point. So he turns his head around, and then he uses this arm to just bat through the catch point. And as the ball's right here, Allen Lazard is looking at it. He kicks his foot up. Like it's soccer. Boop. You can see that, right? And he kicks the ball, and it goes incomplete. We'll watch it one more time. Two big men in coverage right here. Who would have thought Justin Ellis on an important 3rd and 10 would be in coverage? Xavier McKinney gets picked up. Tay Crowder occupied by Mercedes Lewis. Got two extra blockers in here. And the Giants just run cover one-man coverage. Successful. Forced a punt. 3 consecutive plays, ladies and gentlemen, where the New York Giants run single high against the Green Bay Packers in this type of situation, high leverage, high stakes. You absolutely have to love that. Gotta love coordinators who dictate to the opposing team. And I also think this right here is a very, very important play by the New York Giants and by specifically Kayvon Thibodeau. This is the 2nd and 3 after the Giants surrendered a 7-yard rush. This is at the end of the game, quarter 4, and the Packers are looking to tie this football game up at this point. And watch Kayvon Thibodeau and how he gets this backside tackle on Aaron Jones and how important that is to set up a 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 where the Giants obviously end up shutting the Packers down. He fights inside through 73 right there, Kayvon Thibodeau does. Makes contact, gets his eyes on what's going on, sees it, gets inside, dips low, and then dives at the ankles and then wraps up Aaron Jones, which allows Jalen Smith to come over. Also think Nick Williams makes a huge play here. He has to eat this double team, and then he kind of gets pushed back a little bit, but he fights through it. As he's getting hugged, you can see the hand wrapped around, and then he hits Aaron Jones with that outside forearm, and I think that was really important because that just kind of slowed him down enough to allow Kayvon Thibodeau to get a hold of his legs and then Jalen Smith to rally and tackle. And that sets up this 3rd and 1 play right here. And the Giants, I mean, as a fan and as somebody who covers this team, I was watching, I was like, this is not a great situation to be in. You have 2 plays with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. What is Wink Martindale going to do? Well, this is what he's going to do. You have a 3-by-1 set right here with the nub right here from Big Bob Tonyan. So the Giants, with Jalen Smith aligned as an edge, are going to drop Jalen Smith off underneath Randall Cobb. And what you're going to get here is a follow concept. So you're going to get an in route from Allen Lazard and then an outward stem from Randall Cobb, and he's going to replace where Allen Lazard was. And ideally, you would want this defender to expand this way, and then Randall Cobb would have inside leverage against that defender. We'll see it right here, but it doesn't happen. See how Randall Cobb fakes like he's going outside to the flat, and then he cuts right back inside the vacated area right here. But Jalen Smith, this presence of Jalen Smith is huge for this play. And it's not like he was accounted for in coverage beforehand. It looks like he's coming on the blitz. And then he fakes like he's coming on the blitz to open 73 up, and then he sinks underneath right here. And Aaron Rodgers is looking right in the direction of Randall Cobb. That's where the football is supposed to go. Look at Darnay Holmes at the cut point. Right when Randall Cobb decides that he's going right back inside on this deceptive route, Aaron Rodgers would typically fire this football, but he can't because Jalen Smith is right there. His presence is eliminating the opportunity for the Green Bay Packers to score this touchdown because Randall Cobb is winning. And good recovery by Darnay Holmes. I want to applaud Darnay Holmes there, but it looked like he was lost there for a second. And then that little hesitation. Aaron Rodgers has to just hesitate a little bit, and you can see how he's double clutching this pass a couple times. He's bouncing, he's burping the baby. He has to double clutch to allow Randall Cobb to cut into the open away from the underneath defender Jalen Smith, and then that allows Kayvon Thibodeaux to get his hands in the air and knock this pass down. Wink Martindale dropping Jalen Smith off the line of scrimmage here was vital to this play right here. And also Kayvon Thibodeaux, after making a huge tackle on the previous play, gets his hands in the air and knocks that pass down. Again, you got man coverage down here in the red zone. Really trusting your defensive backs and your secondary despite the injuries at this point. Because remember, Dory Jackson is out of the game at this point. Fake like he's coming, sink underneath. You can't really see it here, but you could see the hesitation by Aaron Rodgers. He can't throw the football. Now he decides to throw the football. Once Randall Cobb passes the window, Kayvon Thibodeaux gets a hold of it, and Tay Crowder almost intercepts it. Geez, that is great scheming right there, and just that little adjustment of dropping Jalen Smith off meant the world. And now, right here, this is Wink Martindale. You're going to have full-on pressure in a 4th and 1 situation with man coverage, mano-a-mano on the outside. Let's watch. Xavier McKinney tips it. You can see it's 2 unblocked defenders off the edge right here because the Giants are just sending everybody. So you have a one-on-one matchup here, a one-on-one matchup here, and a one-on-one matchup here. Aaron Rodgers goes into the play fake, sees Allen Lazard one-on-one against Nick McLeod. And what happens? Xavier McKinney gets his hands in the air and knocks the pass down. It's the 3rd time in this video that Aaron Rodgers attempted to go to Allen Lazard and it failed. Now this isn't on Allen Lazard, obviously, but you have 2 unblocked defenders over here. And they both get their hands in the air, and you'll see it a little bit better on the other angle. And the Giants end up winning the football game. 4th and 1. Wink Martindale brings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. Send 8 on a 4th and 1 near the end zone. Xavier McKinney gets his hands right. It almost looks like he's catching the football right here. Get your hands up. And that's something that this coaching staff tells these guys to do so much. Get your hands in the air, knock the pass down, and it helps potentially save a back shoulder touchdown to Allen Lazard. So can't applaud this defense enough. I'm so glad that they ended up winning this football game, and they made huge plays throughout the second half. And again, it was the New York Giants offense that also deserves a lot of credit because they were able to sustain 11-play drives and 15-play drives, and that allows the defense to be rested, allows the defense to prepare, and allows the defense to come out and have this type of effort. So just a collective, amazing game from Brian Daboll and his crew. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The New York Giants defense stepped up when it mattered the most to force turnover on downs, to force incomplete passes, the safety rotation, pre to post snap, using great timing to really string along the chess match between Don Wink Martindale and Aaron Rodgers, Matt LaFleur, because the Green Bay Packers wanted to run the football when the Giants were in middle of the field open, those safeties were deep, when they were in the cover 6 type of defenses, when they were in quarters. But when they were in cover 1, they wanted to pass. And on those 3 consecutive plays, what were the New York Giants in? Middle of the field closed, single high. Aaron Rodgers tried taking 3 shots. Incomplete. And that was one key reason why the New York Giants won this football game. But we see the adjustments, we see the enthusiasm, and we love to see the winning. Thank you everyone for tuning into this video on Big Blue View. Please head on over to bigblueview.com, check out all of our written content, and also check out Big Blue View Radio where we have our podcasts. I am Nick Falato signing off. 4-1 New York Giants, baby. Gotta love it.